Good grief, Charlie Brown, I'm freezing out here. Well, it's the next afternoon. The framers have just left. It's just past 5 o'clock and I'm out here making another video. Yes. Let's see, the framers were here and it looked like they were all done framing on the outside and all the plywood and all the roofing's done, and I've shown you the walls inside before, and I thought, what on earth could they be doing today? Because it rained today, and you can see there's water out here, and I'm going to talk about drying this area in on another video. Let's just show you the inside here. See how it's rained, and look at all the water in here. They had to work in this today. Look at this. It's all over. And this is just what's going to happen when you don't have the roof done, when you don't have the windows in and all that kind of stuff. And yes, they have just gotten done with all the framing, all the OSB plywoods installed, all the roofings installed, the plywoods installed on the roof and all that kind of stuff. And this is what your place is going to look like until you get it dried in. You want to get it dried in. We're just getting ready to get into the rainy season. Today was one of the first days it rained, and I looked at the weather, and it looks like for maybe the next week and a half, it's going to be dry. It's going to be nice and sunny, and then it's going to be sunny for about a week, and then overcast and cloudy for 3 or 4 days after that. And I'm not sure what's going to happen after that. And hopefully at that point, before all that, before it starts raining, before it starts snowing, they're going to have this thing dried in. And I'll talk to you about that, like I said, on a different video. Okay, but today, it's going to be like, what on earth did these guys do today? Because most of this framing had looked like this before. If you were with me before, you'd seen all this stuff. But I'm gonna show you some different things that I've already seen. I kind of walked through here for the last 10-15 minutes, and to see what on earth could they have possibly done. 4 guys today, even though all of this is done. And see, they're getting ready for a framing inspection, and they were doing today is what you call pickup framing, I call it. And that's when you start doing different things to finalize different things before the inspector comes. Now, I'm going to show you a few things that I've noticed, okay, that they've done today. And that is all of the walls. You remember all the walls here had gone all the way across. Well, they cut those out today. And wherever there's a door opening, they've cut out that bottom plate. See how they've cut all these plates out now? Makes it nice and easy to walk through here now. And they didn't do that before, and they just thought, oh, we'll do that later. That'll be one of our pickup things. And it looks like they've done some additional framing. And I can see wherever there's new wood, like here, see, this is when they did the other framing. The wood is discolored. This is a brand new 2x4 right here, okay? And it looks like they just installed that, and they built that in. Here's another area that they framed in, and there's certain areas that they filled in. See, this is a new 2x4 here. Here's a new 2x4 right there, and I can see different areas where they've got some new 2x4s, and it looks like a section of this wall that they've added, a couple, you know, where the header is and stuff, and then it's all about starting to do blocking and stuff up above for sheetrock backing. And I can see up here, this section here, they installed these extra 2x4s, and that's for additional drywall backing, sheetrock backing up there. And they've also done some other areas. Let's see, I can see there's a 2x4 up in there where that's an extra block. Here's another extra block up there along the sides here. And they had to walk around and look and see where they had to add blocks. Here's a block up in there. Man, this video camera, I'm not quite sure why it's not coming in any better than it is, but I can see here's a 2x4 along there that they've added. They've added an extra one there. That's for drywall backing for the ceiling, and they had to look at different areas like that throughout here because they've got to do all that and get ready for framing inspection, and even if the inspector missed some of the blocks for sheetrock backing, that it has to be ready so that when the sheetrockers are here, they have different things up there. And see here, they've cut out more of the bottom plates. Here they cut out the bottom plate. Here they added this extra wood all up in this section here, and they had to put some blocks in there. And I can tell this has been framed out new. Here's some extra 2x6s over here that they didn't have to use, and I can see some different areas where they've added some 2x4s. Here they had to cut in a piece and add that for their drywall when it comes across here, so that they had that backing there. Okay, and at the angled walls, and I saw there was a couple angled walls here. Like see right here, this wall here kind of goes straight, and then it goes out at a 45. Well, in the corner they had to add some extra 2x4s. Here they added an extra 2x4. Here they cut one at an angle and fit in there, so that when the drywall fits in there, they've got a nice inside corner to deal with. And so they added different places like that. And I see right here they didn't do that yet. There's one right here that they've missed. Okay, and maybe they'll finish that. Maybe they'll finish that another time. Okay, so they've done all kinds of extra things like that today. And I see. Remember the other day I saw most of this that they had framed in. I'm not quite sure if they had 100% of that framed in or not, but they've done some extra stuff here, because I can see some of this stuff was nailed together. See there? They might have gotten the height wrong from before, because I see a piece of OSB plywood that's been ripped out of there, and they probably had to redo something there. They might have read the plans wrong or something, because look at this one here. Look at all this. You remember they cut this out, and they had this framed in there, and then it looks like they ripped some of it back out and had to redo it. You can see where the nails are, where they've jerked it out. See on top of here, this is where they had it nailed before. There was a plate in here, and somehow or other they had to rip that out because the height was probably wrong. And in this ceiling area, remember I showed you before, I was telling you they had to put some 2x4s up here, where I know that they've just done that today. They've installed that all the way around, and they put sheetrock backing up in there on the sides, and they've lowered this down, and they've added all the way along here, so that your ceiling is flat along the wall about the first 1.5 to 2 feet, and then it goes up by 7 to 8 inches. Okay, all the way along there, and that's going to be inset. This ceiling's going to be up higher than the rest on the outside. Okay, that's just something they decided to do. And see over here, they actually had a little ceiling area, and I thought they were going to put the drywall up higher. Well, they've framed this down lower in here, and they tied that all in, so when the ceiling comes across here in the bathroom area, it goes straight across. It doesn't bump up and go over there. So they had to do that, and then see along the side, they had to put some drywall backing up in there. This is all called where you have to come and build extra things and add extra things at the end, is what I call it. What was the word I called it? Now I forget. But anyways, and see right in here, they had to take a 2x4 here, and then they cut it at an angle. They cut that. Actually, this piece here is cut at the 45, and then they were able to nail it in there, and that gives you drywall backing right to this inside corner. See, this piece wasn't here from before because there wasn't enough room. This was the last 2x4 that fit in there, and then they needed to put something in there so that when you put the drywall, you had some sort of backing for this little section of wall before this. See? And anytime, see on this outside wall here where it goes this way, this is the outside. Here's an inside 45 that they had to do that. Here's an outside 45. So they took a 2x4 and cut this off at a 45-degree angle and then wedged that whole 2x4 in there, see? You can't really see it from that side. And so now you've got the drywall comes across, and now you have something to nail that drywall to right there. If they didn't put that, you'd have to cut the drywall exactly to this point and then put the nail in right here, and it doesn't really have any backing right there. Okay, and so then on this inside corner, you look over here. Sure enough, here's another 2x4 here. They cut a 45 off it, and the 2x4 fits in there. You come over here on this one. Sure enough, here's the extra 2x4 right here. Cut it off at a 45, so it fits in there. That's all the pickup framing work that they've done, and that's what these guys did today. They did all that kind of stuff. Oh, look at this. Looks like the plumber did show up and do a little bit of work. He's got this cut in. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it connected yet. He's just got the rough little pieces here because you see here his pipes are right here. Here's the cold and hot water here, right there, that are going to come up to his shower valve there, and he's put that in. So I know the plumber's not ready for his plumbing inspection yet. But the framers were doing all of their extra work in here. Here's another 2x4 along there that they've done that for drywall backing along that side, along this over here, and that's just stuff that you do later on. You get all the main framing up first, okay, and then you start building everything else afterwards. I can see they've added some extra pieces there. Here's the 2x6 up in here, and they framed up and they installed a little header across there. I'm not sure why they were able to get away with installing these headers. They're just two 2x4s flat and then nailed up there. Obviously, these are not bearing walls or anything. If these were bearing walls, you would have to have 4x12s up there, or you'd have to have 4x4 or 4x6, 4x8. We used to do 4x12s for everything, okay? But now they didn't have to do that because this is all a truss system for your roof, okay? And your load bearing is on that. And in some places you've got walls that are bearing on there, and maybe if you had a doorway in there, you might have to put a header in there if a portion of this truss was not designed to span the entire way without having anything held up underneath. See, it just happens that there's a wall here, there's another wall over there. It happens that this truss happens to go from here all the way beyond that next wall, all the way over further. Let's just walk over there and see where it goes, shall we? See how far it goes on that. Man, that's a long truss. Remember, it goes from there, boom, over on top of that wall, on top of that wall, and let's see here. Does it keep going? I think it keeps going. Yeah, it goes beyond. Yeah, sure enough, that truss is part of this other truss, which is a scissor type truss, and that's something. Then it goes up this way, down that way, and it ends over there. Isn't that a weird truss. See, it's like that, and then it goes down, and then it goes on over. I mean, you can have trusses built however you want nowadays. Usually you just have a truss that goes up and down and across, and that's it. Okay? But no, not these. These had to be specially designed because there's all kinds of trusses in here that were specially designed, which I thought quite amazing. Look at these trusses. These are individual trusses that come up and across, and they're just little like that. And that's the entire truss. Okay? But in any case, these guys, they worked out here today, because even though it was raining outside, even though it was dripping water in here, they were able to continue doing work. Hey, when I was a framer, you worked whatever you had to do, because if you didn't work today, you weren't going to get paid. So it's like, hey, come out here, do whatever you can, make sure your cords stay out of the water, your end cords, so you don't electrocute yourself when you're cutting using your skill saw and all that kind of stuff. And get out here, freeze your butt off and all that kind of stuff, and hope that next time it rains, you still got something else to do. Okay? And then get all done so you can get over to the next job. Okay? And so, hey, it looks like the framers, they are almost, I tell you, they're almost ready for a framing inspection. I know they have just a few more things to do. Obviously, they've got a little bit of work there, but most of the stuff is done, and they still have their Tyvek paper to do, but I don't think that's holding them up for an inspection. In fact, the inspector will have to look for a nail inspection. He'll look for a nail inspection for the roof, and he'll also look for a nail inspection for the OSB plywood that was installed on the outside of the house before they could put the Tyvek paper on there. Okay, so obviously everything goes hand in hand. For inspections, you've got to make sure all this gets inspected first, so the inspector can come out here and make sure it's been nailed properly on any outside edge. It has to be nailed within a certain amount on a seam. Here's a seam right here. It has to be nailed so far apart on the main 2x4s, 2x6s. It can be nailed at a different locations and stuff. But the inspector needs to see all that before they put the Tyvek paper on there. And so they're probably waiting for that. And my guess is the next time I come out here in a week and a half, because see, I'm going to Mother's in a few days, and then I'll be back in about a week and a half. And at that point, my guess is, and I'm hoping, that all the Tyvek paper will be installed on the outside, the windows will be installed. Hopefully they'll have some, the tar paper, whatever kind of paper they're gonna have up on the roof and all that, so that they can start drying this in. That way this will be all dry in here. The plumber can come finish, the electrician can come start doing all his work in here, and they can start getting ready for an inspection after that for their top out plumbing and for their rough electrical wiring. Okay, because after that, then they'll come in here and they'll want to start putting insulation in here, and then they'll want to start putting the drywall, stacking the drywall. Obviously, they can't do that with it all wet like this. Before they can do the insulation, before they want to do the drywall, of course, they've got to have the roof done. Maybe not necessarily the roof tiles, the roof shingles, asphalt shingles, or the concrete tiles or the clay tiles, whatever kind of roof they're going to have. I think they're going to have asphalt shingles, but they'll have all their paper down. So at least if it rains or something, all the water will flow off. Then they can keep working on the inside, okay? Because everything has to keep going. You can't just start waiting around, okay? So I'm gonna make another video after this, and I'm gonna talk about scheduling. It's very, very important that you schedule properly, okay? And I hope you watch that. If you're a subcontractor, maybe you'll get some tips. If you're an owner builder, maybe you'll get some tips. If you're a a contractor who wants to be a contractor, who's not a contractor yet, but who is still learning the ins and outs of stuff, maybe you want to watch that. If you're a house flipper, maybe you'll want to watch it for that reason, okay? So stick around and I'll make that one next. Well, that's what I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos. Oh, I'm enjoying this. I hope you are too. And if you haven't seen all my other videos for how to build a house, you can go to my main YouTube channel page, click on playlists, and then scroll down to how to build a house, and you'll find more videos of this particular house as well as another house that I made some videos on. And check those out, because the more you watch, the more you learn. My word, what is happening here? It looks like there's been a plumbing leak somewhere, but of course there has not been a plumbing leak because it's been raining outside. And they have gotten done with framing everything on the outside. They got the OSB plywood on. They have the roofing plywood on. They've got everything pretty much ready for an inspection. They've already got all of the stuff done here. They've done a lot of pickup framing. I just made a video of different things that they had to do getting ready for inspections and stuff. But this video is not going to be about that. It's going to be about the next steps. What are the next steps? And what are the scheduling and stuff? Okay? So if you want to watch this video, that's what it's going to be about.